Hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. Better late than never, as the saying goes. I've been meaning to dip into this for the longest time, but the first time that I had it kind of in my schedule to dip into, I was ill, and then other things just got in the way, I suppose. But today I am finally going to be creating a few looks with the Nomad Cosmetics Fuji 5 Lakes Intense Colour Palette. I'm quite looking forward to this. I've already swatched these, so as I've mentioned, I'm now going to attempt to do the swatches beforehand. I have some foundation on, it's just some Illamasqua skin base of some description. And out of curiosity, I recently placed an order. It sort of snuck in at the tail end of last year, but I placed an order with Gloss Gods because they had a really good deal on the something with the Molten Metals palette, and I thought, well, it's a really good deal, but I do still have to pay postage. What else can I throw in there? And as you know, I'm on the hunt for an eyeshadow base, so I'm going to try this right here. So I don't know if you can see that because it's quite reflective, the text on there, but it's that base, Crease Killer eyeshadow base, and it's in the shade Clear. So I'm very intrigued and I'm going to try that out for the first time today. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty clear. I'm very intrigued. Like, is that sticky to the touch? No, it's not sticky. I'm really very intrigued about this when I saw that it was clear. The only thing is though, with it being clear, my lids are very dark. So it will be interesting to see how shadows perform over this, considering the pigmentation of my lids. So let's see. I mean, I'm not doing a longevity test as such because it's Nomad, and I know that they last well. Generally, I'll do a longevity test if it's a new brand to me, or if a brand says that they've improved the formula or changed the formula in some way. That's when I'm more likely to do a wear test, longevity test. Here are the 15 shades of the Nomad Cosmetics Fuji 5 Lakes palette. That was actually really therapeutic to swatch, more so than normal. I couldn't tell you why, I don't know, but that was just really pleasant. So you've obviously got your reds, and then you've got your sort of blue tones, and then you shift into some yellows at the end there. Really pretty colour story. I know that a few people commented they wondered if it was a bit close to Polar Express, and what I might try and do is see if I can grab a screenshot from my previous video so I can compare the swatches of both palettes. Nice creamy mattes. Some of the shimmers are a bit more translucent. Really pretty, and I've got lots of ideas for combinations that I want to put together. You can definitely go monochromatic with this, but you can also sort of have a mishmash of some of the colours that are in there. So yeah, looking forward to creating some looks with this. I will say that Diamond Fuji, let's see if I can get the shade correct, so it's this one, that arrived broken, but it was very easy to repress. So now I've just got a light over the top of the swatches so you can see what they look like, especially the shimmers, when the light hits them. speaking of the fact that my eyelids are rather pigmented on their own, I'm going to really challenge this palette and perhaps attempt a monochromatic yellow look. That's something I haven't done recently, if ever. Looking at the swatches on my arm, I think I'm just going to use the colours in this L shape to start with. So I'm really testing Nomad here. Let's start with, so Yellow Poplar is the lightest, then we'll do Koyo, then Burnished Beach, which is the more orangey shade, with Golden Ginkgo on the lid. That might be a bit too, maybe I might go into the red because I think that might be a bit too much yellow. But yeah, let's start with Yellow Poplar. And this is just a reference number 1. And no film on the mirror this time, guys, no film. A moment for this packaging, before I dip into that. Again, I know you've seen this, but the packaging of this is just stunning. It's textured and raised, and it's just beautiful. I mean, I don't think you can probably see that on the screen, the texture there, but it is really stunning. I think it's probably one of my favourite Nomad packaging that I've got. Like, I do like the Halloween palettes, how they've got that, they've got a name, haven't they? Those kind of holographic, flippy, I can't remember what they're called, but you know what I mean, the Halloween palettes. Right, so back into Yellow Poplar with my clear primer and my very pigmented lids. Okay, so it's coming up as a pastel yellow, which is no surprise there. Let's see how much that can be built up. So yeah, I got this some time ago now, because I want to say I got this in October. Yeah, because it was just before Halloween. I think I got this at the same time as Haunted Europe. And because it was Halloween, I kind of dived straight into Haunted Europe, and this got put in a to use pile. And then obviously I got Polar Express, and that was a festive palette. So I decided that I wanted to use a festive palette, and this got shunted as well, because I also chose to use Wild Atlantic Way, because they had a massive sale on at the time on Wild Atlantic Way. So I thought, well, let me do a review of that in case anyone's eyeing it up. I don't think that's holding up too badly, actually, considering I'm trying this new clear base. That's not too bad. Okay, so let's pick my Ref of 14 up. Now I'm going into Koyo, which is this yellow right here, and it's a bit deeper. It's more of a vibrant yellow. Yellow Poplar is more of a pastel. Koyo is more vibrant. So let's see what that looks like when you go into, okay, yeah. I don't know if that's showing immediately to you on screen, but I can see the difference immediately. So I'm putting that right in that crease bit. I know I said I'll do a monochromatic yellow look, but I might venture over to the reds to add a bit of depth. As yellows go, these aren't bad. What was that yellow I tried the other day that I really liked? Was it in Gourmand Girls? It might have been. But yellows are okay. Yeah, this is nice because this is building up really nicely. I think the dark pigmentation of my lid is coming through a little bit here though. I wonder if Burnished Beach will be enough of a deepening shade. Let's try it. So I'm not wiping that off I'm just using the Refa 14 again onto Burnished Beach. Who did I see on Instagram who did an all yellow look? I think that's probably what's inspired me and made me go to the yellow tones in this palette. I think it was Goldie Glosser. I'll put a picture of the look that she did. So that was using Undergrowth from Cosmic, and that was really pretty. Does that have enough depth for me? I think I do want to go into the reds. I'll go in with Burning Bush. So that was burnished. Ooh. So that was Burnished Beach that I just used, and I'm now going to go into this red here, Burning Bush. Orange is nice. I just want a little bit more, I think. Yeah, that's better. I think without was quite nice, to be fair, but I think I just wanted just a little bit more depth, just a little bit. And I'm not mad about the fact that it's more orangey. I suspect if I went in again and I built it up, the red would show more. But I quite like that it's a bit more orangey. Okay, let's get some NYX glitter primer. Now that I have got the red involved, I think I am going to go into Fiery Maple and then Golden Ginkgo towards the inside. So this shimmer here and this shimmer here are the ones I'm going to put on my lid. This works out quite well because I'm actually using quite a few shades, and I'll try and use as many as the other shades as I can on the other eye. So let's see, Fiery Maple. And Golden Ginkgo. I don't know about that. I wonder if it's because it's more toppery, so it's kind of not giving quite the effect I was looking for. But let's try my Refa number 1. See if I can pick up more and carry it through. I think that's better. I think I took the red too far in, so now I'm working to build up Golden Ginkgo more over the top, and I think that's giving more the effect I had in mind. Yeah, that's better. So looking at the other side, I think Fujigoko, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I'm thinking this, deepen things up with this. Let's see, let's start with those mattes first and then we'll see. So back into my Refa 15 with Fujigoko, that's what I'm going to go with. I think I do want to try this again with an eyeshadow primer that has a base to it, just because I'm curious. But I really wanted to try this to see what it was like, this Gloss Gods clear base. See, that's quite nice, I like that. And that's not taken much at all to build up. Refa 14 into Mount Hoi. So that's this shade here, a bit deeper. I think I will carry that all the way through. Yeah, see, that's really nice. It's covering up all my pigmentation. That's no problem at all. I really was testing Nomad with this eye, I really was. But I don't think it's done too badly, to be fair. I like the tones of this. They're not full on blue, there's like a greenish hue to them. I'm trying to think of the shade of green in the undertone for this, but they're really nice blues. NYX glitter primer again. So I'm also trying to plan ahead because I'm due to go on holiday next month. So I'm thinking about how much I can pre-film, and if maybe while I'm away I just go down to 2 videos a week, so it's not as challenging to have content going up. The shimmers. Ooh. I'm thinking I'm going to use one of the 2 blue shimmers and then pampas grass on my lid, because I think that would look very nice. Which blue? Which blue? Maybe the deeper one. So if I use the deep blue, it's gonna be Yamanakako. Yamanakako. Gosh, I'm not butchering these names. I feel so bad. But that one, and then I'm going to use that towards the inside. So not quite sticking to the monochromatic vibe, but I think that could work quite nicely. Yamanakako. I've learnt my lesson from the other side, not to bring it in too far. Pampas grass. Oh yeah, that's nice. That was a good shout. Let's go in with my brush to make this neater. Oh gosh, I made a cup of tea and it's gonna be stone cold now. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to put some concealer on and tidy this up, and then I'll come back so we can do the under eyes together. Okay, concealer on. God, that looks so much better, gosh. I feel like eye looks always look a bit crazy until you've almost got a full face. And then they just immediately come together. So what do I want to do on the under eye of this side? I wish I could like ask you and you could answer. Maybe I'll do a live someday and then I can ask you these things and you can vote and let me know what you think. I think I'd said burning bush and then smudge that out a bit with burnished beach. So all the B's. Burning bush, burnished beach. Let's see, so this is my Zoeva, I should know what it is by now, 230. Into burning bush. And then have I got my Refa 13? Yep, there it is. And then I'm just going in with burnished beach just underneath. And then I'm more or less going to do the same on the other side, but with Mount Hoi and Fuji Goko. It's like inadvertently another fire and ice type look. Do I need to? I'll still smudge it out a little bit, that's fine. And then Fuji Goku. I wonder if that's too light now. I think I was right the first time. I think Mount Hoi on its own was enough. On the fiery side, I'm going to use my trusty Hourglass palette. I'm going to go in with this shade in the corner here as my inner corner highlight. Metallic Strobe Powder in Divine Strobe Light. I wonder if I should have sprayed my brush there. Yeah, there we go. That's popped a bit more there. And then for my inner corner highlight on the other side, we're going to use a matte shade. Who am I with my matte shades on the inner corner? But we're going to use Mount Fuji right in the middle there as my inner corner highlight. I think that will work quite nicely. And I'm using my Zoeva 230 to do this. Gosh, that's picked up a lot there. Just dabbing it. Honestly, who am I? I've gone from being terrified of using a matte shade on my inner corner to just fully embracing it. I think that works really well. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to finish off my face. Blush, liner, mascara, just everything. And then I'll come back and give you my first impressions of this palette. So while I said that I was going to do most of my makeup off camera, I am. But I did get these Rare Beauty blushes and highlighters. So it was like this mini trio set that I picked up that someone was selling on eBay. Christmas, so eBay after Christmas is a treasure trove. I highly recommend it. So I got this in that kind of those few days where no one knows what day of the week is between Christmas and New Year. I snapped this up, bargain. I've not tried Rare Beauty, so I'm going to try it today. And the trio included Beloved, Virtue and Enliven. So let's see what they look like. And if you see me looking over here, it's because my phone is over here and I'm going to simultaneously attempt to film a TikTok because I'm down with the kids like that, okay? Let's kind of do a little bit of a gradient moment. It would help if I actually started filming the TikTok, wouldn't it? No idea if I've put too much on, not enough. We'll see. Very stained Refa number 4 here. I'm not sure if the placement was right with that, but that does seem to have blended out quite nicely. What do you think? What do you think? Should we do the other side now? Might be a bit much, might be a bit much, I don't know. But it's a learning curve, isn't it? I feel like I need a bit more on this side. Yeah, I need a tiny bit more. But that's pretty actually, I like that. Everyone's been talking about these Rare Beauty blushes so much and I've really wanted to try them, but at the same time I haven't wanted to try a new brand and potentially fall in love with it. So I was quite pleased when I saw someone who I'm assuming got gifted this for Christmas, who didn't want it, list it on eBay. I like that combo. That's nice. Oh dear, have I found another brand to fall in love with? Yeah, I like that a lot. Rare Beauty. So mostly Beloved, little dab of Virtue, and then Enliven for the highlighter. There we go. I've got a different light over here. I don't know if it's too bright or if it's perfect. You'll have to let me know if it transitions and this is far too bright. But if you think this is good, this might be my new lighting situation. Interesting. I also don't know what I'm going to do when it comes to filming in the summer, because I've resorted to filming at night because it's much easier to control the lighting. Whereas during the daytime, if it's a sunny day, if it's overcast, brilliant for filming purposes, but if it's a sunny day, messes up with my lighting. So in the summer, I don't know what I'm going to do, but let's cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, we're discussing the Nomad Cosmetics Fuji 5 Lakes palette, which is by no means a new palette at this point, but we are where we are. And what do I think? Let me zoom you in now I've finished everything. Let's get you right in there. See, I think that lighting is good for the close-up. Interesting. So I'm getting right in there. I can already see a bit of creasing. I don't know why, or is that just where... It's tricky because obviously right in that fold, it's kind of impossible for shadows not to crease, to be honest. Yeah, so it kind of follows that. I think on this side, you don't see it as much because I haven't taken the shimmers as high. But on this side, because they do go above that fold, you do just have that distinct line. I think they're both very pretty looks though, the way they've turned out. And as I mentioned, obviously I've really put Nomad shadows to the test over here by putting yellows on top of a clear eyeshadow primer. But yeah, so that's what the two looks are like close up. You know the drill, guys. You let me know. Do you have a favourite? Are you feeling the spicy side, or are you feeling the icy side? Icy or spicy? Let me know what you think. What do I think? I was instantly drawn to this palette. I think it's not new in that we've seen a lot of kind of fire and icy type palettes, you know, where they're combining the blues and the reds, but the difference here I think is in the tones of the blues especially. And even when I'm looking at my arm, because they've still got the swatches on, which I always try to show you, but at this angle it's a losing battle. But I just really like the tones in this palette. I think it's a beautifully created palette. I quite like all of the shades. I mean, I was about to say I haven't used the lightest yellow, but I have, actually, I have. I think the only shades I haven't used today are Momiji. Let's see. So Momiji, the deep red in here, Red Rowan, this kind of red tone beige, would I call that? And Kawaguchiko. So I've used 12 shades. That's not bad going for a demo, and I think this performed pretty well, I've got to say. I like how it's turned out. The yellows have held up against my dark pigmented lids. The mattes are blendable. There's not a single dry matte in there. Like, as I said, they were just really nice to swatch today. I had my music playing as I was swatching and cleaning off my fingers in between. It was just really nice. And I'm really curious and about doing more looks with this and crossing over the shades. Like, obviously I've gone relatively monochromatic here, but I want to see what happens when you lean fully into the red. So like I've done the L on this side with a pop over here, like if I did the L on this side and maybe the L with a pop of orange, and then what would it be like if I mix the reds and the blues together? So maybe blue on the lid with a bit of red underneath, or swap that around. I'm just curious. My creative side is coming through with this palette. Sometimes I'll look at a palette and it will throw me, and it's odd, like I find that with the Gourmand Girls palette, even though the more I use it, the more I enjoy that palette. Formula, love it. Mattes, shimmers, really enjoying that palette. But then sometimes I look at it and it throws me, but I think that's just because I'm a massive overthinker, to be perfectly honest. I think that's a me problem rather than a Gourmand Girls palette problem. I think sometimes I look at a palette and I overthink in a bad way. With this palette I'm overthinking because I've got so many different colour combinations that I'm really curious to try. Like I think I prefer this to Wild Atlantic Way. What else have I tried? Haunted Europe. Would I put this above Haunted Europe? Ooh. Possibly. Let me play with them both more. I'd definitely put this above Polar Express. I do really like Polar Express, but this would go above that. It does not topple New Zealand Stargazing. I know that anyone who watches me is probably sitting there thinking, what about New Zealand Stargazing? No. I think it's going to take a hell of a lot to topple New Zealand Stargazing from the top spot when it comes to Nomad Cosmetics. But I've really enjoyed this. I've really liked this, and now that I've finally dug into it, I know I've taken my sweet time, but now I've finally pulled it out and tried it, I really want to keep using it. Yeah, so just a reminder once more. See, it's a bit washed out though with the colour. See, I look good, but I think the palette looks a bit washed out. If I draw it back a bit, that's better. That's quite nice, isn't it? You can see the tones. And the packaging, I think, would this be my favourite packaging from Nomad? I think so. I mean, you may not be able to see the texture, but you can probably hear that as I'm running my fingers over the top, and it's just beautiful. I love the colours, I love the texture. It's a really nice palette for the packaging alone. But yeah, really nice palette. I like that, and there's not a single shade in here that I wouldn't use, that I feel is redundant, or that I wouldn't dip in there. I think with a lot of palettes, there's always one or two shades. You know, you've got to make that call when you look at a colour story, and there might be shades in there that you know in your heart you'll never touch. I don't think there's a single shade in there, especially now I've suddenly become a lover of the matte inner corner highlight. Now that I've started, I'm sorry it's taken me so long. I really like that. Before I go, I know I showed you my blush, but just in case you're wondering what else I've got on my face, I've set my under eyes with the Peachy Trigwell Cosmetics powder. No, you can't see that at all. As per usual, that's the bronzer I've got on today. That's nothing new. The lipstick, I kind of have lined it, but very roughly with a NYX. I don't have it beside me for some reason, but I've lined it very roughly with a light brown NYX lip liner, and then I've gone in with the Say Lip Blur in the shade Modern. I just really fancied a pink toned lip today. I think it goes especially well with this side. Does it go with this side? Perhaps not as much. Still kind of goes, but looks best with this side. Thrill Seeker mascara, and I have repurchased finally my beloved Clinique eyeliner, and it's just as wondrous as I remember it. I mean, I still need to practice. It's still somewhat questionable at times, but the name has changed. It's now called High Impact Easy Liquid Liner rather than Pretty Easy, which it was before. So I was concerned in case they had changed anything about it, the formula, the application, or anything of that nature, but it appears to be exactly the same, and I'm delighted. And I think I might have to make sure that I've always got a backup so that I'm not in a position again where I run out and I'm desperately scrambling around trying to find an eyeliner I can work with. My eyeliner skills are already terrible, so I need all the help I can possibly get. And I think that's it. So yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I don't think I was as chatty as I normally am in this video. I feel I was concentrating. Possibly also because I'm hungry, so maybe I'm a bit hangry. Anyway, I'm going to stop because things to do. Eat, for example, plus I have to film another video. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, consider subscribing and dinging that notification bell, and hopefully I'll see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye.